Okay, it's welcome to today's. I'll be I'll be giving you tutorials on video editing course. I know. Sorry, I cannot unmute everybody because of time. I know, but with the process, you guys will know me. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Godwin Easy. I'm the founder of Lens 22 Media Production based in Lagos. I'm a video director. Please, if you cannot hear me, just you can kindly indicate by chatting me up, or just indicate by saying you can't hear me. You can just indicate here that you can't hear me. Then I'm a founder of Lens 22 Media Productions. I'm a video director, a video editor, cinematographer all together. So that's it. Um, if you are a video editor already, a cinematographer, or you're into the media firm or field, you can still learn one or two from there. And this is going to be beginners amateur class. So basically, most people ask, what's video editing? So video editing is, if you go on the internet, if you go on the internet, you're going to hear video editing is the process of manipulating and rearranging video shots to create new work. That's basically what you're going to hear. But my own definition of video editing is, like you can see, is the is a post-production process of storytelling. That's understanding video shots, scripts, sounds, creating a film or a picture using the ideas or your ideas and work tools. Please, if you don't understand, you want me to go over it again, just indicate. You can write, I don't understand, go over it again, but I will still go over it again. So video editing is a post-production process of telling a story, understanding video shots, scripts, sound, creating a film or picture using your ideas and work tools. That's what you imagine, what you see. Then your work tools, what you're working with, your softwares, plugins, presets, there and there. So steps before editing. So you have a clear idea of your story you want to tell, understand the way it's scripted, have a reference. When I mean have a reference, um it's what you have seen. Uh, let's say you want to work on a brand, a fitness video, but you can use what you have seen, what you have imagined, tweak it, create your own. But you have seen something like that, something you can build on, a story you can tell. So the next is understanding the rushes. Rushes are called video clips in the lame language, but in media frame is called rushes. So understanding rushes, video clip shots, and frame rates. So frame rates let me explain this way. Frame rates are pictures per second, like your millisecond, a picture per second. That's basically what frame rate is. Frame rates are pictures per second. So the thing is, the higher the frame rates, the more clearer your picture is. Let's say if you have 60 frames per second, it's going to be more smooth, and that is where you see slow-mo. So the higher the frame rates, the smoother your picture, your video is going to be. You can have 60, 120, like that, 240, just up. So please, if you are not understanding what I'm saying, you can kindly indicate and use the chat. Just say something. If you have a question, please ask. So I will go over it again. Frame rates are the number of pictures in a second. So if you are using 30 frames per second, that means you are seeing 30 different kind of pictures per 1 second. If you are using 60 frames per second, you're seeing 60 different kind of pictures per 1 second. So that's why the higher the frame rates, the smoother the picture. The lower the frame rate, the more normal or fast is going to be. So the higher the frame rate, the smoother the picture. So step 5, decide on what sound to use. Every video has its own sound, its own feel. Every video has its own sound, its own feel. It has its own connect to what you are doing. The sound you are going to use for a sports show or a sports ad is not the same sound you are going to use for, let's say, a corporate video, or let's say something for Coca-Cola, let's say a wedding. It's not the same sound, because the sound is what drives video. According to apart from the visuals, the sound has to go along with it. So step 6, have an arranged project before opening your software. Yeah, most people, when they want to do, please, if you are not understanding, please indicate. You can go to your chats and write, I don't understand, or go over it again. I have a question, please. The last step, this is a basic step. There are so many steps, but these are basic steps. So the last step, that is step 6, is have an arranged project before opening your software. So before you open your software, you have to open a project. We'll go over that, practicalize that. We'll open a project like a folder. If you are storing this, you open another folder inside it. Your videos will be there. You open another folder where if you have pictures, if you have animations, open another folder for your project folder. Same folder. Let's say you're working on Nigeria. So inside Nigeria as a folder, you have like 36 states of 36 folders in that same Nigeria. So that if you are looking for content based on Abia, you are just going to go to Abia, and any other person can work with it even without you being there. There are different editing software. There is the Premiere Pro. This, what my cursor on my mouse, this is Premiere Pro. So many people may be familiar with it. This is Final Cut. They all edit. They are all video editing software. They all have their whole field. They all have their own peculiarities, but it's how well you can use them to bring out your story alive. That's what matters. So this is Final Cut. while this is DaVinci Resolve. This is Flamoral. This is Movavi. There are so many others. So many others. But the three acceptable, okay, let me not use the word acceptable. The three most professionally used all around the world. When I mean all around the world, I'm talking from Nigeria here to Australia to wherever. The three most accepted use is Premiere Pro, Final Cut, and DaVinci Resolve. These three. But we are not going to go all of that. We are going to focus on Premiere Pro because Premiere Pro is used by any OS, Windows, Mac, Ubuntu, so many of them. Why Final Cut is a Mac. If you don't know what Mac is Macintosh, that's Apple products. It's only used in Apple. So it's only Mac that can have Final Cut. Why DaVinci? You can use it for both Windows and Mac, but you can't even use, I'm not sure you can use it for Ubuntu, but it requires high-end data, is not popularly known and all. So, but we are going to go over Premiere Pro. So these are um, sites you can download. If you don't have the software, pcwonderland.com. pcwonderland.com, one of the sites you can download the software both for Windows and for Mac. While Mac download on informa.com, you can download for Mac only. Doesn't download for Windows or any other one. So I hope you all understand. If you don't understand, please indicate you don't understand. So let's go over. Anyone has a question? Please, if you are following, just kindly indicate in the chat box before I move to the next step. If you are following, please indicate in the chat box before I move to the next stage, please. Okay, John, you're following. Is it just John? Okay. The reason for using two links is because for the Zoom is because one is they have a policy that I can't do more than a particular time of minutes. So this meeting will end in the next 9 minutes. So okay. So I would like you guys to go to the next link and click on it. We can end this meeting, go to the next link I shared on your mail or your WhatsApp and click on it. Then we can start with video editing software and workspace. Then we'll be done for today. Then if you have any questions after that, if you let me know also. Please, you can stop your meeting, go to the next link I shared and click on it. Thank you. the video, that's Premiere Pro, work workspace and all. Okay. Just hold on a bit. Okay. So if when creating, please, if you cannot see my screen, please just indicate you can see my screen, please. When opening a software, or when opening the software, I want to create a project. You can kindly just go to, if you're working with a hard drive or you don't have any hard drives in place, you can just go to your wherever place you want to. Let's create, please, who has this? Who has the Premiere Pro software, please? If you have it, please indicate before I start.
I have Filmora, but I don't have a Premiere Pro.
Oh, okay. Do you know where to download it?
I don't have any.
You don't have any? Okay.
Yes, so.
You can go over the website because it's heavy. It's not something I can send. It's not something I can send.
All right. The PC Wonderland. Can I? Is it Wonderland? Okay, yes, Wonderland. Can I download?
Yes, you can.
Download Premiere Pro?
Yes, you can. You can there, but it's not something you can do now because it's 1.9 gig to be advised to download the software.
1.9.
Yes, but if you have somebody that has it, you can collect it from the person. So while you think of, okay, that one works.
But sometimes it's selfie.
Wait, is it for PC, right? For
yes,
PC, right?
That's for computer. It works only for computers.
All right.
That's laptop, your desktop, yeah. It doesn't work for phone, please. Thank you. So, okay. Now, if you want to create, okay, better. Now, if you want to create a project, you can open a new folder. Sorry. You can open a new folder. Let's name it video editing. When you open a new folder, like where I was telling you earlier, now for Premiere Pro, there's always a project file so that in case you want to move to another drive, you can pick it up without carrying your system. That means if you have a project in your hard drive, you can carry your hard drive without carrying your system to wherever you're going to and start work. But the only problem is if you are using a 2019 Premiere Pro to work, you cannot open it with a lower version. You can only open it with same version or a higher grade. Please, do you understand? So when you open a project you want to work on, let's say you want to work on video editing, you rename it. This folder stands for your project. Let's say this folder is where your videos stay. Let's say this folder is your downloads or anything you use. Let's say this folder is your AFX, is your animation. Maybe let's say you are using After Effects or there's a motion graphics made. There's a motion graphics made. Let's say this is it. So all you need to do is go to your software. Now, when you open your software, leave all this, ignore the remaining recent project open. When you open your software, all you need to click is, if you click on open, that means you want to open an already a recent project you have done. But once you click on new, when you click on new, you go to browse. You go to the video editing, you go to the project file, you have to select all, you select the folder. If you see your location, is now telling me, okay, this project is saved in your drive in the folder video editing. Then you can rename your folder, rename your project. We say we are working on video editing. Sorry. We say we are working on video editing. Now, in this whole format, yes, this is what is acceptable. DV, your audio samples is what is acceptable, not HDV. In case for your capture format. Because I'm using a graphics card, that is why it's telling me Mercury playback in GGPU. That's the name of my graphics card I'm using. In case you don't know, graphics card is more like, is a memory that is used for your animations to enable your videos play smoothly and all. It's just like your RAM, but in a graphics format. Please, if you're not understanding, you can let me know in the chat session. Then with all these sets, you go to okay. Now this is your workspace. This is your program. This is your source monitor. Okay. Anything you are working on, it appears on this box. Please, if you are you following? If you are following, please indicate on the chat box. Is anyone following? If you are following what I'm saying, please indicate. Is anyone following? Okay. So yes, I will do the recording of this program and I will send. So as I was saying, anything you're working on here, this is your sequence. So sequence is where you assemble all your file. This is where you edit. This is where you use your audio, your videos, your effects, or wherever. This is where you cut this sequence. This is where everything, all the magic is you do is made, and this is where you see what you are doing. And this place called source. We call it source monitors. This is where what you have to select to bring here to work on goes. And this is your project videos and all. Is this same place. You have your media browser to check your drives if you have connected drives and all. Me, I don't have any connected drive yet, just my C and D. These are your libraries to know, okay, what you have in stock, more like a preset or no. This is info, what you have done. If I'm too fast, please let me know. This is your effects. So you have your presets, you have your volumetry, your audio, transition, video effects, video transitions. This audio transition, sorry. Video effect, video transitions, and all other presets, you can put it there. So this is your move tool. When you pick, okay, before we go over to move tool, let me just tell you how this workspace. So if me, I'm using a 2021 Premiere Pro. This is where you want to learn, maybe they put some kind of a little tutorial about, okay, one or two things they've added. This is where you see your assembly, all the materials you've dumped in your project. This is your editing workspace, strictly for editing. Then you have when you want to color grade. That doesn't mean, listen, that doesn't mean if you are working, if you're on your color grade workspace, that doesn't mean you can't edit. You can edit, but what they're trying to tell you is that is more of color grade. So you can do both, because you can, if you can notice here, it's small. Here it's smaller than when it's on the edit. It takes everywhere. So the color grade is, they did it for color grading, but you can see edit in it. It's your choice. Then we have the effects, where you see your own effects value, right? And you can change your workspace, edit your workspace as you like. Same thing, this is your audio, you have your effects and all, your audio mixer, sequence, program. Then you have your graphics, captions, libraries and all. This is mine. This is the way I like to work with it. I have almost all my tabs in place. So if you want to open a new project, this is a project sequence bin. So basically anything that is here, and here also. Anything that is here is here. That's both your project and your effects is here. You can also see your sequence settings and all, they are here. So when starting up with time, when we are going over the edits, we are going to see when we are going over hello, can you see me? Can you see my screen, please? If you can't see my screen, please indicate. Can you see my screen? Hello, is anybody here? Okay. Can you see my screen now? Okay, so I have to start over again. Okay. Like I said, this is your workspace. This is where I was calling your sequence. This is where I was calling where you put your projects that you bring in from your folders into. This is your effects, where you have your transitions. For you that is using Filmora, I'm sure you're familiar with transitions, audio effects, audio transitions, lumetri and all. But those are not. This is your effects panel. Call it effect panel. This is your media browser. That means if you have a drive, this is Premiere Pro. This is Premiere Pro, please. You are dealing on Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro. This is your source monitor. Is written there, the sequence, your program monitor. This is your sequence. So everything that is here is basically here in your file, where you have open projects, open recent projects, exports, imports, then your edits. You have the cuts, the copy, the paste, and all. That's if you have a. There's no video yet, but yes. Anything you want to work in here, this is your sequence. You can also do it in case you don't know the shortcuts. You can do it, pick it here, and affect it. So you can, this is my own workspace. You can choose to use the edit workspace or create your own. When creating your own workspace, all you need to do is go to Windows. Go to Windows, go to Workspace. Then you can edit your workspace. These are the different workspaces Premiere Pro has, but you can edit it to your own taste if you want or if you like. So I said I'm going to say one thing. For every, if you're broadcasting, like if you do a video, I want to give it to a TV station, want to give it to Netflix or CNN or all of them have their own different frame rates and sizes. Like the general traditional frame rates for TV stations in Nigeria is 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second in all the videos that you should be exporting. So in other words, we shoot that and we can do 1080 by 1920. No, 1920 by 1080 rather. 1920 1080. But we don't show full HD except it's your YouTube channel or anyone, maybe your site or something. But in Nigerian terrestrial TV does not program, no one shows full HD. They all show 720 by 576, or 1080. Few shows that few brings out 1080, but not all. So if you want to do the broadcast rate for, let's say, where UK or US or Mexico, US, it's 29 frames. That's 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second. North America, then Australia and all, they still do 25 frames per second. So that's it. If you want to create a sequence to start, all you need to click is on your keyboard, Control N, to create a sequence. That's a workspace. Or you go here, new, go to file, new, then sequence. It's going to create a sequence. Like I normally use digital SLR because I know where my clients, I know where I'm putting out the video, I know who I'm giving the video to, I know the rates there which are streaming it. So I normally use 25 frames per second. Now it's more like it's accepted anywhere because I'm not giving, sorry, excuse me, I'm not giving CNN my video yet, and they are not transmitting it live. So normal one accepted is 25 frames per second. YouTube can make you take any frame rate. YouTube takes any frame rate. So let's say you're shooting with Ari. Ari is the name of the camera. It has its own frame rates built in the app. We're shooting with AVC, Intra, Canon. This is for digital DSLR cameras. These other ones, this is full HD, 1080, this 50 frames, 60 frames, 24 frames, 25, 30, and all. Depending on where you're transmitting your videos, it's going to tell you what frame rate you're going to use. Let's say someone brings a video that is shot at 60 frames per second. That doesn't mean you have to create a sequence for 60 frames per second. You may still create your sequence at 25 frames per second. And when exporting, you can interpret it at 25 frames per second, because 60 frames per second is slow-mo. It's going to be slow movement shots. So Nigerian servers can interpret that 60 frames per second in an export rate. They can only interpret it if you have 60 frames per second in a 25 frames per second sequence, and you exporting it at 25 frames per second. It's going to interpret it as 25 frames per second, but there's a 60 frames per second inside the video. So let's go ahead and create our sequence. Let's say video editing. So this is what it looks like. This is your video one. If you know about graphics, there's the video one, there's a layer 1, layer 2, and 3. So if you have a video or a picture underneath this, is very clear that this won't show what's there. This is what will be showing, except there's an effect that can see through this to see this. But if you just lay a video like this on your timeline, and this is also called timeline, in case I did not tell you, if you're going to lay a video like this one up will be the one showing, but this down will not show, except the video is smaller. But the thing is, people's focus will be on this one before this one. This one will be blocking whatever thing is doing before this one, except there's an effect you are creating that this makes sense to be on it. It may be anything, but anything that is on top of the next one is what we are seeing first before this one. I hope that illustration is better. So this is your text. This is your your hands to drag. This is your slip tool. This is your razor to cut. This is your ripple delete, ripple edits, edit two different stuffs. This is your track forward. That's your select all. Don't select all your timeline. There's a shortcut for that. That's A, cut C. This is B. And no, this is your pen tool. If you want to draw a design. Now, like I said, this is your move tool. We are going to go over maybe I don't want to bring in something that's not on the syllabus. So I'm just going to go over the whole I'm going to go over the whole sequence one more. Then we'll wrap it up. Please, if you have a question, you can just indicate. Thank you. So, like I said, yeah, I think this is when you want, this is your video is fit to the screen. If you use 10%, it's going to be smaller, like shaping into whatever you are doing. Sometimes people use small computers that they cannot really see what they are doing. That's why sometimes it's advisable. I would advise you that if you are doing a video edit, especially when your timeline is bulky, like mine are normally, I would say you should get another bigger screen, like a monitor, so you can see everything you are doing there. So let's try and bring in a video. Please, if you are not understanding, please just indicate. Okay. I can hear you, Easy. What's your question? You can. Oh, okay. I'm going to share the video, the recorded video of this session, so that I think it is easier for those who did not join or joined late like you to follow up, because I can't go right now. Okay, please don't call me sir. My name is Godwin. No, it's 2 sessions because of Zoom, so I had to share it twice. 7 to 8, 8 to, because Zoom does not allow me for long period. And this class will so end. But you have my number. I'm going to share it to your mails, the videos, so you can also download and watch. If you have a question, you can send me a mail, or you can use my WhatsApp to text me. I'll be available when I can. So I want to bring in a video, so it's easy for you people to relate with what I'm saying. So to import, okay. To import a footage, you can go on your keyboard, Control I, if you're using a Mac, Command I, or double click this portion. It's going to take you to wherever you want to take your videos from. And remember, like I said, you must have you must have your work arranged so that at every point when you want to import, you can import from here. You don't need to look for where the videos are, where the project downloads are. No, you can do that when your work is properly arranged, so it's easy. Or your keyboard shortcut is Control I. So since your sequence is set, you can drag it. It's asking me to change sequence settings or use the clip existing because it shows this video at 50 frames per second. That is why it's asking me to change. And am I transmitting 50 frames per second? No, I'm not. So I'll keep existing settings. If you're not clear, I can still go to sequence settings. This is 1080, 1920 by 1080. Vertical ratio of 16:9. I'm still using the aspect ratio pixel. It must be 1.0, so it's going to be square. This is the display format. This is the time code. I'm using the original audio, the sample rate, HZ. So if I'm going to export just this audio, I'm going to get a format of AAC. So you can use MP3, the normal MP3 and all. If you're exporting for your most time, it's going to be an AAC, but you can also just rename it as MP3 depending on you. You can change the frame rate if you want, depending on where you're trying. But now I'm using 1920 by 1080. And I'm using 25 frames per second. I can change it to 50, 30, 10, depending on how I want to change it, but this is what I want to use. The video was shot as 50 frames per second. So this is the video. This is to close the eye. Closing the eye means it's more like offing the video, like making it not to show. Why toggle sync lock is this is together. If you click anywhere, they are together, but if I click on here, you're no longer going to be together. Okay. Yeah, they are no longer going to be together. So if there's any question, we are going to go over full practical tomorrow, rather. Tomorrow, the class is starting by 4 p.m. and it's going to end at least 6 p.m. or thereabouts, because it's going to be practical all through. So if you have any message, please indicate. If you have any question, before I end this meeting, and thank you for joining.